No, council in meeting.
Call to order. Adoption of agenda.
The council adopt the agenda as presented.
Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? There was a typo. Adoption of minutes, 3.1.
Recommendation that council adopt the minutes from the regular council meeting held on March the 4th, 2020.
Second.
Discussion? There was a typo on one of these that I saw, but I can't remember where.
On a report or in the minutes?
In the minutes. But I can't remember where it was.
I went over it with a fine-tooth comb.
Oh well.
I'll look at it again.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
4, introduction of late items. We have this NCL or NCLGA, and that's 9.2.
1, 2.
And then
Nine.
this is canceled. So do
That
we?
is the cancellation.
Oh,
The invitation's in the package, this is the cancellation.
okay, so 9.13. So do we really need to have this one on here?
No, I have to show it to you. You don't have to do it, it's just
Receipt for
information. Yeah.
9.14, ALC information. Okay. And then public hearing none, 6 delegations
None.
is none, 6.2, none. 7 unfinished business arising from the minutes, none. 8 new business, 8.1 recommendation.
The council approve increasing the budget for the public works side by side from 20,000 to 45,000.
Second.
Discussion? Chris, can you explain this? Hello?
Did you go to sleep?
Chris?
Now, 2?
Sorry, I put myself on mute, so I wasn't stippling. Thank you, Worship, happy to talk to that one. The Director of Public Works over the last few weeks here has been gathering quotes for the side-by-side unit, equipped as he would like to see it, which includes a multi-function remote control angle blade, as well as a heated enclosed pad for the unit. All of the quotes that we've gotten back have been well over the $20,000 mark. However, the cheapest one we were able to source, and we're trying to get them locally too. So all the dealerships we've approached about them have been in the city of Dawson Creek here, and we wanted to try and stay local for obvious local reasons, but also for availability of parts and that type of thing. So we've checked with 4 dealerships. We've received 4 written quotes, and the cheapest one that came back was this Polaris unit at $23,500. We did indicate to all of the dealerships that this was for municipal use, and if they had a municipal rate program available to factor that in. So the cheapest we're able to get it equipped as we think it should be is around that $23,500 mark. So we're requesting that council increase it to 25.
Okay.
So the blade, Chris, was how much did you say?
I don't have the breakdown of each specific component, Your Worship, but the fully, just the prices for the fully completed unit there, and that Polaris one is the cheapest, equipped with a blade and a enclosed heated cap.
So they never gave Blair a breakdown of the unit?
Yeah, we do. We actually have everything, all of the quotes come complete, but we didn't want to put that on the agenda for corporate pricing reasons.
So does Sandy have a copy of that stuff, since she is acting CAO?
It's all in my office, and Blair has copies of it as well, if council really wants to see it, but I actually requested that get sent out to council privately by email. Again, the companies are giving us special municipal rates on their equipment, so I would suspect they don't want that going forward.
I prefer to see the breakdown. How about Chris?
Send it to you by email.
Would you send it to me by email?
Would that council's decision, Your Worship? You can send it out, but
Well, we can send it out to I can send it out to the rest of the councillors. I think they need to know the breakdown of the unit and how much it's gonna cost for each part that he wants. Not just
Okay.
not just one solid piece of equipment. There's attachments to it, so it needs to be broke down.
Okay. So you guys would like me to send you those by email
Yes, and we could probably vote on it then? Is that right, Sandy?
We make a
then?
motion
Yeah,
to
if
do
that's
that.
council's wish, for sure, we can definitely do it that way as well.
Just make a motion.
I need a motion for that.
I'll second it. I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
Motion to vote by email?
And
Yes.
Barb will second. Oh, you want to talk? Oh,
Discussion.
okay.
Well, you need a second to discuss, right?
Yeah.
Okay. To vote, once we get all this, should we not have some discussion, not amongst us, not by email? Because I find things don't get, it's not a sort of an even playing field, because maybe I'm out of town, or maybe I can't get to my emails till 2 days later, and, you know, that kind of stuff. It's just inconsiderate.
Absolutely, Councilor Smith, this is council's budget item, and, you know, we're attempting to find something that fits within the.
So when do you need this answer for, Chris?
Pardon me?
When do you need this answer for?
When do I need it?
Yeah. When do you need the $5,000 put in, so by when you
It's
buy it?
absolutely, no, definitely nothing urgent, your worship. The budget for the 20,000 was approved as part of the capital and special project list. You know, Public Works, of course, is ready to go with the purchase, but if council wants to take a month and read over the information and mull it over, absolutely okay with us.
Oh, and maybe the interest rates, maybe we can finance it. The interest rates are 0. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
Like,
so
we're probably gonna have some sales too.
Huh? Oh, I know.
right now we have a motion on the floor, so.
And-
But
Motion to go by
discussion-
email, so
discussion.
you-
Discussion is still happening.
Oh.
So,
I'd like to make to amend the motion on the floor, not to bring it to table it to the next council meeting after we have a breakdown. Is that adequate for everybody?
yeah. All in favor? Or can I second?
I'll second. Is that
You have a Marlene and a Barb for second. All in favor? Okay. Any correspondence here? I really like Sam's report.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's very detailed.
I would like to discuss 9.5.
9.5. Now a seconder.
Second.
Okay.
I would like to send a letter of support
Is that the one?
to New Westminster for the federal government to do a federal
For the farmer care?
pharmacare
We
plan.
already did that, and we're just waiting for the letter to be wrote. It's wrote in the actions down here.
Yeah.
We talked about it
Action.
when it first came out.
Is there someone else we should be forwarding? Oh, that letter went to Port Moody.
You already signed that one, that one was
Port
already
Moody?
approved, yeah. So this is now for,
From Port Moody.
no,
This is New Westminster.
this is New Westminster. So this
So they're
is, so
doing
you
the
want the
same
same
thing?
letter to go to?
Yeah,
Okay,
same letter.
CC?
Barb?
Yes, please.
Have they been opposed to oil and gas?
no idea.
No.
Okay.
We're not opposed to farmer care.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody else? Yep. 9.10. Is this the recycling line here? Oh, they're there, 9.8. So are we following this one?
Are we following?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's all about recycling.
Not to the best of my knowledge, but we should, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I have a second on that, Joe?
Second.
In favor? Okay, 9.10 recommendation.
Second.
Discussion.
This is a real important thing to be discussed.
Mr. Ken, can you speak to that?
I don't know.
You can't speak to that?
Let's see. Well, I don't think I can speak to this specifically. And I do not believe that this conference will be going ahead because it's going to be more than 50 people. There is another meeting that's been scheduled for the subcommittee addressing this issue for April 22nd here at Dawson Creek. So, we'll see what happens then.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay, 9.11 recommendation.
It's canceled, is it not?
April 1st. It's probably going to be canceled.
Okay. Resolutions none, bylaw none, administration report, CAO report is attached, is it not, Chris? Capital
Yeah.
special projects?
Yes, it is, your worship, page 50.
Yep.
Yep.
I'd like to add one item to that, if I may, your worship.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's, it expands on bullet point number 1, the coronavirus, the COVID-19 monitoring. I've attended numerous conference calls here this week with emergency management authorities, health authorities, the province, regarding the situation. It seems to be getting deeper and you know, more severe, I guess is the right word for it as it progresses. There was a state health emergency put forward by the province of BC today, and then a national state of emergency by the federal government as well. I'm not sure if council noticed, but the city of Dawson Creek announced that they're going to be closing their office to the public that's effective today. And I'm just, I'd like to perhaps have a discussion with council around what council would like to see with our offices as well.
Would that be in camera?
No, because it's open to the public, it's closed to the public. Just who's working and who's not working and how much goes.
Yeah, and if council would like to have a discussion around particular roles, please just refer to the role as opposed to the individual.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I have concerns that I would like to see us step up to the plate and help our residents if they have any issues coming because of this virus coming. If we get a isolation in place further down the line, or somebody needs something, I personally would volunteer. If Sandy give me a call, said, you know, Mr. Jones needs a quart of milk and a loaf of bread, do you want to bring it home on your way home from work? Or little things like that. I have a cough, I don't have a computer, you know what I mean? Like, the doctor offices now are not booking appointments for people. People only have their landline. Some of them in the older age do not have computers at home. They're going to find this struggling trying to communicate, especially if they're by themselves. Social thing is a really downfall for people that get left by themselves. So I'm thinking, what can we do? Is there something we can do, or is there something?
Can I jump in, Councillor?
Sure.
So there was one of the conference calls was this afternoon, and it was around, it was hosted by Emergency Management BC, and Sandy Blair and I attended it, and it was intended for the operational manager. And one of the municipalities on the call had been given direction by their council.
Chris?
That they would like to
Chris, none of that information is public info.
No, right, okay. Yeah.
You can't talk about it.
Okay, so I'll frame that another way.
Okay, so mute yourself, okay?
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris, I wanted you to.
Yeah,
before
no,
you
that's
release
okay,
too
thanks
much.
for bringing that up then.
I can speak to one thing that's going on in Poos, if you like.
Yes.
Well, I kind of want to just jump in on
Okay.
Councillor Smith's request. The danger in doing something like that, Councillor Smith, I think that's something that we would have to boil down to a personal decision at a community level. It would be very difficult for council to issue direction to staff to do that type of thing through the authority of the village municipally, only in the respect that we do not have any basic personal protective medical equipment to
Can
be
I
able
just stop
to.
you there, Chris?
We weren't
Okay,
asking
we
for-
weren't, first of all, about a week ago, I posted online that if anybody needed any help during this time, that they may feel free to message me or call out to me, and I left my cell phone number on there.
Yeah, okay,
So I've had a few calls and I have helped out a few people.
okay.
My phone is always open, and it's not necessarily as the mayor, it is as myself.
Yeah.
Sandy?
We also have had some local residents post on what's happening in Poos,
On my thing, yes.
offering to go and run errands for seniors or anybody that needs help, or go do shopping or things like that. So the community has actually stepped up before.
Yes.
So there is something out there for them.
But there is lots of people that aren't online, so we need to put things on bulletin boards. Maybe we could post.
We could put a notice out if that's
a
what you
notice.
want.
Yes,
I
yes.
can draft up something tomorrow and send it to you and see if that's
Yeah,
what you
this is something that we would have to address on a personal, individual level, folks.
We
Well,
already did that.
I didn't post it as the mayor, Chris, I posted it as Lorraine McKetty. So
Yeah,
I'm
we would
pretty,
be putting the village at serious liability risk if we directed any staff members to put themselves in harm's way like that.
No, we
Nobody
were
would
all
do that.
just offering our own service.
our own compassion, Chris, and humanity is what.
Yeah, no,
the
that's
village-
okay, I have to say that. you
Yeah,
know,
we know. We know, Mr. Babysitter.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything else?
We still haven't resolved the office, operating issue, folks. Does council want to close the office to the public, close the office in general, remain open? How would you like to proceed?
Marlene has a question or an answer first, or?
Oh, no, I would like to answer to that, the office closure. I personally don't have a problem with locking the door if you want, but as a municipality, we should give to the public the,
Comfort?
I guess so. The comfort of knowing that the village offices were available as a village.
Chris, is not, did we not receive an email today stating that all government facilities are closed down?
No, not in so many words, although I believe that's coming, your worship. So we've had a couple of internal discussions and conference meetings here about how to maintain operational functionality. We already have a call tree list ready to go in the event that we get a provincial order to all stay home anyway. So we absolutely intend to continue business continuity. It'll just be over the phone. We verified with the answering service that they have all the procedures in place to work from home and respond to any calls that might come in. So what we've sent to the answering service is sort of a triage call list procedure that if a call comes in, the answering service says, okay, what are you calling about? Great, public works matter. It goes to the director of public works. Oh, I'm actually calling about a loose dog. Yeah, that goes to the bylaw officer. So essentially performing the front counter, front office function, but just through the answering service at the phone number, and then any bylaw or other procedurally related matters are that come to me. And then, you know, we've of course got the email addresses and whatnot for any written questions.
But there's also people that don't have Facebook or the village website to deal with this, Chris.
Yeah.
So what we need something maybe to be put out to the seniors to, you know, be able to call our phone number or something. They need to be able to reach us in somehow, some way.
So the phone numbers remain the same, of course. We have posted it on the front window, and you guys likely saw it on your way in. And that public. If you think you feel sick in any way, please don't come into the building. Here's the phone number.
That's for as it's opened right now, but
Yeah.
we're talking about closure, essentially.
That would stay the same. We simply change that notice to say the office is closed for, for health reasons, or frame it accordingly. If you have a question or concern, please call 786-5794 or email info@scoopy.ca, and Sandy and I are going to monitor that.
We've drafted up 2 different notices. We have one for if we decide to lock the front doors
And you guys staying here and work?
and staying here and work. We also have another notice that we have drafted up if you decide to close the office completely, about how people can get a hold of us to pay their bills. Like I said, we've got an email address set up. We have the main office number, which the answering service will triage, which most of them will go to Chris. If it's a case of somebody needs to get in here to pay a bill and they really can't do it by check or online, we can make arrangements for someone to come here to take the payment.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a hardship for me or Trina or Skylar to come in and take the payment.
If the door's locked, do you have a doorbell?
No.
They'll unlock the door over here.
Oh,
We can see them. They can see
Okay,
people
okay.
at the door, no problem.
Money?
I think until such time that the government mandates that municipalities close their offices, that we should remain open, just for the comfort of knowing that people in the municipality can call this office and they can get some kind of
Direction.
a person on the end of the line, or a person at that door.
The concern that's come up with staff, and I kind of feel rightly so, and this is, I've spoken to both our other closest neighboring Peace Region municipalities, is that if someone comes in, what assurance does a staff member across the counter have that that person's not ill? And there's currently a social distancing requirement. So in speaking with the PRRD, for example, they've actually placed barricades, they say, at the front counter so that people actually can't get within the 6-foot minimum distance of staff. We've got an issue internally because our 2 front counter staff are not within that provincially recommended social distancing distance either. So it just brings up a whole series of issues that nobody's ever considered before. How do you operate an office and exchange files and paperwork and stuff, and you're not able to get 6 feet within your other staff, within anywhere your other staff member?
I do not want people to feel that they're abandoned by the municipality.
Or
And
your
they
own-
have to go through phone numbers, or the province, or the federal government. I want the village of Pouce Coupe to be available, even if it's just to comfort someone that's crying at the end of the line.
Okay, so but you're stating at the end of the line, Councillor Hebert, the doors don't have to be open for somebody to be on the phone. The phone number's not changing. We're talking about physical interaction, someone walking in the door and sniffling like I am right now, 2 feet away from one of our staff members.
There is something to be said about a person being here and the people outside knowing that we are here. We're not abandoning the village. We're not elsewhere.
I see what you're
So
saying.
Chris, here's a
Scenario?
scenario. Attach the mayor's phone number to that.
Yeah, okay.
To what, the notice?
To the notice and to the hotline, to whatever.
Yeah.
Could,
Already helps in.
Ken, you had a question?
could we not move one of the desks, say, to in here?
Well, do we really need at this time of year this many staff?
Well, there you
There's a
go.
question. So this,
Or
the rest of it should be.
can one of them work from home? I don't know.
The only people that can work from home is Chris, me, and Blair,
So,
and potentially Katrina.
So we agreed on the conference call that the staff, the actual employees have no issue being in the building for the most part, with the exception of just figuring the 2 front counter desks. And Sandy and I talked about just having Public Works move one to, one of the other corners of that particular room to maintain that 6-foot distance. I absolutely get what you're saying, Councilor Hubert, so that the public knows at least there's people in the office. Not a problem, but I think there's a piece of me that feels we're putting staff at risk if we're allowing unvetted, unchecked members of the public to just walk through the door and be within 2 feet of the front counter staff.
There are laws in place that say that they do not have to show up here if they don't feel comfortable. It puts them in a precarious position,
Yeah.
but they can stay at home all they want. What I'm saying is that we need at least 2 people in this office to make sure that this village is being taken care of.
Okay.
Another thought along the same lines is the banks, the credit union, they're all dealing with people who have been unemployed, their mortgages, credit cards and all that stuff.
Stressed people is what they're dealing with.
So is there any way for those that we as a community can say to our residents, if you've been adversely affected, if you have been laid off as a result of COVID-19, that we could offer
Assistance.
some assistance or delay a payment for up to 6 months and follow suit?
Interest free, no penalty.
Interest-free, no penalty.
Chris, did we not talk about that a couple days ago?
Yeah, sort of. I've given that some thought, and I put some of my thoughts on that in an email that I sent out to council, I believe, yesterday with respect to taxes. So all of the tax stuff that we're obligated to follow is under provincial legislation. So there's not a lot of wiggle room for the municipality to say, you know what, this year we're going to waive the penalty for any late taxes because we're required to do that by provincial legislation. I know in a conference call yesterday with the province, they're looking at that, but the legislation hasn't been enacted yet. They're working on it. There's no telling if and when it might come. And what
That's
they're
property taxes, Chris. We also have the water bill, we also have garbage, we also have other things here. So is there something that we can do for our water bill? You know, if people are unemployed and bringing their ROE to us, is there something that we could possibly do for them?
So there's a number of options at council's disposal with respect to any of that stuff that's in your control. There's also an option with respect to taxes. And that is, so we can't pick and choose in terms of taxes, and we have to apply it fairly. So, and your worship, you're talking about somebody bringing in their ROE or something like that. That would be a privacy violation. We'd be gathering personal information that wouldn't pertain to the municipality. But what we could do is apply a policy to every resident, and those that want to use it, those that don't. But with respect to taxes, the council of the municipality has the option to set taxes for any class of property for any particular year at $1. So if council felt that the residents would benefit from a break, that would actually be the easiest, most direct way that council could provide sort of immediate financial benefit to every household and every business in the community on a level playing field. Set the taxes at $1 for the 2020 calendar year.
Is that something we would have to decide by May 15th?
Yes, so the tax rate bylaw would have to reflect that.
And so that would give us a little bit of time to see how this is going to impact our community.
But
Yeah.
We can say whatever amount we want, Chris. It doesn't have to be just $1.
It could be
No, it doesn't have to be $1, so we could agree that, the council's motion is to cut the mill rates from last year in half, therefore giving an approximate 50% savings to each household, or any number in between.
I like it.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Oh, wait. Is this to do it, or is this to further discuss this?
Further discuss.
All right, in favor.
So you'll bring us back information on that, Chris? Can I have a motion to say that we can bring us back?
Yeah, I've actually considered those numbers already in the context of last year's budget, folks. If council chose to do that, it would cost the village approximately $335,000 in revenue, but that would mean that every resident, household, and business would get to keep that money for this tax year. And as I mentioned in the email, the village is well capitalized. We have about $5.2 million in unobstructed savings right now and no debt. So if council chose to for that to be the give back to the community, I don't see an operating issue for the 2020 calendar year as a result of that decision.
I think, I think we should honestly think about that, because at this time,
I've talked to so many people over this, and it's so stressful for them. Myself, as a business owner, I have staff. It's just a stressful time. And I think people would be very grateful to council to allow that to go through. But I can't say $1, Chris. I can give them a percentage off, would be mine.
It would show our intentions of.
Yeah, we're focused on our community.
We're trying to help. That we're trying to help.
We're here for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's discuss that. We'll bring that up for a report on the next council meeting, folks, and I'll propose some options for in 25. I'll say it's 25% increments. So last year's mill rate, a 25% discount, a 50% discount, and then a 75%, and then $1. And I'll let council know what the financial impact would be of those 4 options.
okay.
Look at the
Anybody
bright
else?
side of it, with us being temporarily laid off, we'll have lots of time to just have budget meetings.
Yeah.
We're not.
No.
Can we get a seconder?
Second.
All in favor? And that'll be the next council meeting, right, Chris?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay. Action items?
You still have a conversation on. Chris, did you get your question answered?
Well,
No, actually, the
The
question
office.
of how the office is to remain open and in what capacity is still outstanding.
Okay.
My thoughts are, until we get further, there should be a body here in the village office. Whether you lock the door or not lock the door, there has to be a body here. It's just
you
we
can talk
need-
to somebody through the door.
We can't desert them.
Ken?
No, I was thinking you have to have a minimum of 2 people here. Listen, maybe we could, how have these people been trained? Have they been trained one up, one down? Can we do a job share?
Not really.
Yeah. So
Chris and Sandy.
yes and no. I mean, due to the nature of our small, close-knit office, most of the staff are pretty keenly aware of what the other staff members do. And over the last couple of years, Sandy and I have worked on making sure that at least 2 staff members are versed in some of the critical things like payroll and agenda creation and so on and so forth. But I think at this point,
That's a job? I love that. Can I bring my crowns?
Yeah. My understanding, and I stand to be corrected, is that anyone who is not asked to be at work would remain on salary. Yes. Is that true?
Something, no. They have to apply for EI, and they get paid 55%. It's in the employer's discretion on how they get paid. If the employer can't afford it, they can lay them off, they can get EI.
It's a temporary layout they have with this crisis that we are using at work. The ROE gets sent in, and that the work week it is only a week waiting, 7 days, and then they can get EI.
So what about
Up to
union
14
restrictions
weeks.
and notification and stuff like this?
Sorry, I'm just thinking to myself.
Is there anything for that, Chris?
so I had a conversation, and I'll just say with another Peace Region CAO today. They were faced with some of those other decisions, and according to that CAO, they received a legal opinion that if the municipality was sending everyone home, closing business went on uninterrupted.
How?
So what do you guys wanna do?
I think, didn't he not just
Say we
say?
had no choice.
Yeah, if we're still paying them, then, well,
They might as well
we
be
know that they might.
Well-
Paying them, they might as well be here.
Yeah, well, hold on now, what about the social or the spatial interaction thing?
One of the
We may-
guests gets moved in here.
We may,
When you go grocery
really,
shopping.
that's a brilliant idea, I love it.
People, this supposed to be every friggin' day.
When you
Why
go
is there
grocery
phone
shopping.
phone lines?
It's the same here, yeah.
The
And
two
it's the
front
same with
people
me.
answer the phones. We move a desk in here, that person can't answer the phone. There's no phone line in here.
But if they stay behind the counter and somebody comes through the isn't that a safe
We're
distance?
talking about two different things
Well,
here.
We're talking about, there's
We
too
have
much
the ability
close-
to move the
close
desk
space out in one of
into the
areas.
corner over there. We have the ability to move it into the corner over there, and we did discuss that today.
Jeepers, we're really bad at the co-op.
There's no outlets here for phone?
Oh,
There's this phone outlet, but we don't know how it's set up. I know how that one's set up out there.
Well, there you go, so we just plug in a phone there, we got it.
I think, guys, can I jump in? It sounds like we're getting into some pretty deep operational weeds as to who that goes where. The three decisions that are available to council at this time is remain fully open to the public and fully staffed, but close to the public, or close to everything and people are directed to work from home.
I say staff close to the public.
You know,
Second.
I would think we would have the luxury, and I'm thinking out loud, to say to the staff here at the hall, our intentions are to stay open, to remain open, to service the community. However, if you do not feel comfortable with this in light of the situation in front of us, you can opt to go home.
What do you guys want?
It sounds good to me what Ken just said.
I don't know, that's
So you're
an
making that motion, are you?
No, I'm not
You're making
making
that as a motion, Jim?
for discussion.
You have to make a motion in order
You
for
have
us
to
to
make the
discuss
motion.
it.
Yeah, and I need a seconder for that copy.
I don't want to force staff to do anything.
That's what he said. That's
So
exactly
I'll
what I said.
second that.
Okay. So I'm not sure what the motion is, but Barb seconded.
There you go.
You made the motion that it's okay for staff to stay or they go home. One or the other, it's their choice.
Unless they're deemed essential.
Yeah, there has to be two people here.
So we talked about that as well, and we feel that the essential staff are, the public works folks in the event of, water main break or something of that nature, or if we get a snowfall between now and whenever this decides to end, those folks are gonna have to be called in. That's okay, because they'll be operating a piece of machinery by themselves. And then in addition, the senior management staff, of course, so, fire chief, corporate officers got to be available for record keeping, and then, the CAO, CFO for the never-ending stream of conference calls. And we've been told by the province that there's gonna be a daily update, in terms of these conference calls and information flow. So that the irony of it is a good bulk of everybody is basically mission critical.
Well, we can set our guidelines, but the province is gonna trump us sooner or later.
I believe in the Council Member. I think that the provincial order to stay at home, don't leave your houses,
It'll be about 2 weeks.
I'm scared to ask a question.
Why?
Can I just verify this motion, please?
We're not gonna shoot you, Simon.
I don't know. Okay, so the motion is that the office is to be closed to the public, but staff is on site. But if staff is not comfortable being here, they are okay to go home without being penalized.
So, yeah.
So long as
Well, we have
their
to make
presence
sure-
is not required here in the office.
Yeah, they're
I have a question, do we have to pay people if they go home?
Like, well, yeah, we have to. We're union, we have to.
But if they opt to go home, So if I went into work and I said, you know what, I just don't feel comfortable right now, I think that I'm just gonna take a leave right now. And then you say, bye, catch you later, but I wouldn't receive a paycheck.
Are you?
Because I've opted to stay home.
So just to clarify that, the federal government released guidelines on that today, as a matter of fact, that says employers could not discipline employees who opted to stay at home and self-isolate out of fear of their own personal safety.
No, it's not a question of discipline,
No.
it's a question of whether that employee gets a temporary layoff notice or if their wages are continued.
Yeah, and I'm still working on that, so there's still, I'm likely gonna reach out to legal today. That conversation I had with the other CAO was late this afternoon, so I didn't have a chance to make a few phone calls to follow it up.
If someone voluntarily requests to stay at home,
They were gonna stay home and get paid for it.
Why?
There are people who, they might have to care for someone at home. They might have
They were
someone sick at home
That's
that
EI.
they have to be isolated.
And that's why they have the EI thing.
And that's
We
why
have
they have
somebody
Only 55%.
coming back from Mexico that had to self-isolate,
55%.
Yes,
and they are
But you're
collecting
70%
EI
than it normally is.
yes.
also.
Yeah, and technically too, being so early in the year, most of the staff haven't used much, if any at all, of their vacations. A staff member that, following this motion, if it's approved, that tells, you know what, thanks council, but I don't even want to be next to my coworker here, I'm that afraid of this. I'm just gonna take my vacation now.
That would be
They
the
have that
best
option available to them, and then they can load that.
So what were the options that we discussed, Chris?
So the first option would be office remains open, uninterrupted, fully available to the public. Second option was doors closed to the public, but staff remain at the office and work from their workstations. Third option was close the office facility itself, have staff continue to work from home.
I think staff should be here.
Until it's mandatory.
Yeah.
Yes.
All in favor? Okay. So, what? Yeah, well, we're doing the agenda right now, we can talk after. Action items. Anybody see anything? I don't see it on here, Sandy. Oh, the action ideas, not the,
We haven't, because the budget isn't complete, we don't have
we
a
still have all
capital
the stuff
special.
last time.
Sorry?
We still have stuff that we had planned, that we could have on the special. Just to
Capital
remind us.
special project?
Yeah. I could remind us. Anyway, the
Okay.
action items.
I will put it on next one.
So, the meeting, with First Nation Health, well, we won't be doing that for at least 3.5 months, eh, Chris?
The First Nation, sorry, say that again, Lori? First
Meeting
Nation?
with the NWWC and First Nations Health?
Meeting with, so on the action items,
Yeah.
no, I've received no confirmation from either of those two organizations that they're willing to meet with us.
Okay, what about the letter of the Toronto Hills? How's that going?
Sandy, can I get you to maybe comment on that one?
I thought you were doing that.
So Sandy says you were doing it, Chris, so where's it going?
We'll talk about that tomorrow. It's not gone anywhere, let's say that.
So for 2 weeks, it hasn't gone anywhere? Okay, so when did this letter get put on the agenda? It was November 6th, and what month is it now? It's March? Are we government, or are we actually gonna get things done? Anything else on the action?
yeah, there's your spelling mistake.
You found it? There.
Needs assessment is completer.
Yes, clear, that was it.
Sorry.
Okay, so Chris, when do you think I'll see that letter?
I'll add that to my agenda then for this week.
Because it's a must, because it's November 6th, when the letter was brought to council. Anything else you guys see on action?
You know, just a general comment, there's lots of stuff here, it's already been approved, it's on the action list. In light of some of the steps that council will be taking, I think we, you know, may need to tighten up our belts here, particularly if we're going to think about
Tax.
you know, relief for our citizens. So, just a reminder, just a thought, just because something is approved and has been approved and the money is available according to the budget, maybe we don't have to go follow through with it and simply leave these on the back burner for a while, some of these items,
Some
items.
things need to be done.
Absolutely.
So, councilors' calendars.
So canceling the 26th.
Well, I don't know, I'll find out tomorrow. Have a special meeting tomorrow, Sandy, for regional district?
Yeah, but the PRLGA dinner is canceled.
It is?
Yeah.
I never got a notice.
I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
just got notice yesterday that it was canceled. Yeah, it is canceled.
And I imagine that mayor's conference will be, for chambers, that'll be canceled too. Okay.
No point bringing it up probably, but 22nd of April was for the subcommittee meeting.
But there's less than what, 50 people?
Yeah.
They're
there's-
moving it down to 10 people now.
No, that's Trump, isn't it?
Yeah,
So-
Trump did that. I haven't heard for Canada yet.
Oh, from the medical officer and on the news.
We never heard from the Canadian Trump yet.
Yeah, we did.
Oh no, we don't have a Canadian
No.
Trump.
The wannabe. We heard him this morning.
In isolation.
Yeah, okay. 13.1, Councillor White.
I have the report from the last AGM for the library. If anybody wants to read it, I'll have it in the binder. January went really well. We had a lot of fun. The kids had a lot of fun. Some of the people weren't able to come because of the virus. But other than that, we persevered and
Got her done.
broke even.
Yeah. I was sure tired that night.
Is the library closed now?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Anything else was done?
Well, I thought I might bring it up for Catherine. Yeah, bring that up anytime.
Councillor Smith.
I'm going to have a meeting for the Boltry House. Our fundraising is going to be tabled. We were planning something in April, so that is on hold. I'm doing the NDIT conference call on Friday, and I also have NELF, it's the Community Futures Foundation meeting at noon.
You think you're gonna go? Community Futures?
I sent them an email, said, are we still having a meeting? As far as I know, I didn't get a reply back because Sue doesn't get back till tomorrow.
And you're gonna be, where's she at?
Community Futures.
No, but where's she at right now? You
I
said
don't know.
So you're gonna go around her if she's going
I
out of the
don't
country?
know. I don't know. I've reached out.
And that's it? Barb?
Yeah.
Did Shelley tell you she took a picture of me and her with the check from Goose?
No.
Yeah, that was.
You were in getting stuff for the
Jamboree.
Jamboree.
She was doing the soccer thing and she grabbed me. Councilor Hebert. How's the Eastern Museum man?
Some today.
Did you?
I did. He's on his walker. He got in just in the nick of time because now there's no more surgery.
He
So
said the pain is less than what it was.
yeah. I did want you to know that our poor crossing guard is away. And I put a card in the library for everybody to sign. And it's locked in the library.
Is she home now?
Is it still open?
Still in her shortage.
Yes. But if we ever get into the library again,
Yeah.
yeah,
Is that it?
yes.
Mr. Drover?
Well, I'm kind of, there's a bad term in politics, quid pro quo. Right?
Alternate path.
Apparently that's a bad term. So I have two things that I'm thinking and looking to my esteemed colleagues for assistance and guidance. Here's what I'm thinking first and foremost. I'm thinking about the community's food bank. Realize that the community is going to be going through a difficult time. Realize that as a community, as leaders of the community, we're going to do all that we can do to assist the citizens of our community. So, the food bank. I don't think the food bank has enough space to deal with what's going to be happening at the doors of the community. They need more space temporarily. In addition, I'm informed that the food bank is spending money every weekend to purchase stuff to be given out on Saturdays when they give out their baskets.
Secret is selling food. She's making food and selling it and giving you a receipt, and the money is going back to the food bank.
And that's not just up to Super to subsidize the food bank when the village should be
Yes.
subsidizing the food bank.
Well, you know,
Like, we should have a budget
could-
from them.
We could be doing this, and perhaps we should be doing this, and I really like that idea. But this is the time for the community to shine,
Yes.
for the residents of this community to stand up and say, hey, I got an extra can of whatever, I have an extra couple of packs of craft dinner, something, this could be donated to the community center for the benefit of those and to help out like we're all trying to help out with the village. So I just want to go over a few things with regards to the food bank. So currently, the spaces needs to be increased for what's coming down the pipe. And maybe whether we discuss it now or at a different
Where would they, where
date and
would
time.
you do it at?
Well, this is something we have to discuss, maybe here.
They need a commercial kitchen.
Why?
They're not preparing
Refrigerator.
food, it's
No,
storage.
they don't. They have to have
Non-refrigeration.
refrigeration.
They have to refrigeration. They
Have
have
to have
chickens, she
refrigeration
buys
for
chicken.
all
Didn't we just take a refrigeration unit out of the school?
No.
No, they don't work very well.
Okay, so that's something to consider, absolutely, let's get a fridge. Maybe someone can donate a fridge, right? We don't have to go all out and go commercial. Maybe someone has an extra fridge they're not using, they can donate to us.
But we still need a space.
And we still need the space. So let's just go through this list and maybe then we can discuss it. They still have some cash on hand, but obviously cash is going to be going through their hands quickly with what's coming down the pipe. And not only donations of non-perishable goods, but donations of cash would also,
So would you make a motion to council to give the food bank some money?
not at this time, at the end of this review
I'll
perhaps.
forget by then.
All right.
Maybe to promote the food bank, we could do something in our newsletter. I know we have in the past, and recently, I think.
And especially now.
Yeah. And maybe a notice in the post office, I don't know, or on the bulletin board up there.
How long is the post office going to go?
One other thing, to the residents, maybe a couple of other things.
Check the camera.
But right now, everyone is super cautious and bordering on paranoid with regards to germs and the spreading of this COVID-19. I would encourage anyone that visits the food bank, whether it's for the purpose of donating or for the purpose of receiving, to ensure that their personal hygiene is as good as it can be, so that any staff there doesn't wonder about hygiene issues and transfer of
Networks
germs.
has changed
Let him
their
talk.
procedure. Sorry.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
be clean when you go in. We don't want anyone being scared unnecessarily if there's a hygiene issue. We realize, and it has been noted, that the people, the residents of Koopy are very friendly. The fire hall has also been instrumental in helping the food bank with collecting and storing the food. Currently, to receive a food basket at the food bank, they're open on Saturdays from 3:30 to 4 p.m. It's only a half hour that it's open, but it seems currently to meet the needs of those who are requiring the service. However, I'm of the strong opinion that that's going to need to be adjusted in the future.
Do you think maybe next council meeting that we should have Sucrit here so we can get the, to ask her if she needs any help from us, or what do you think?
Well, I think the direction has to come from us. And she's the one who's been spearheading this effort, and my God, that woman's an angel.
Oh,
You know, she's awesome for doing this. But maybe she could use some help. Maybe we could ask for some volunteers to help there. But as a community, we see what's coming. Hopefully not, but we see what's coming, and we need to plan for more food to be available and a bigger space to have it, and a place to plug in a fridge. And I'm open to your suggestions.
It's an odd time to be requesting food and money from people, and they're all sitting on the edge of the couch thinking, oh my gosh, like, how am I gonna feed my family? How long do I have to feed my family? What is gonna happen if I don't have a job? How am I gonna make ends meet? Pardon?
And it's no different than approaching a business person at this time, because we're all in the same.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat, but it is a difficult time. Just thought I'd make that point.
do they have any idea how many people use the food bank at this time?
Enough.
Do we know 10 people, 5 people, 20 people?
I don't.
Something to gauge if we have to.
You know what? I don't know what you're going to use to measure that with and compare it with, because what we have coming down is totally unprecedented. Totally unprecedented. And the EI benefit is only 55% of your regular EI income,
Your regular wages.
of your regular wages.
So half, a little over half, or a little more than half of your wages. And people are already paying mortgage payments, car payments, they got two kids. It's stressful enough for them to have to deal with having to fork out money. And, if you could cook a warm meal for somebody, yeah, fine. But to ask somebody to go and donate $100 worth of food is very, very hard for them.
Yeah.
So I think the village needs to step up
Yeah.
and donate some money to the food bank. Not leaving it to our residents to stress over, thinking that their next door neighbor's going to starve to death.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't want that stress
I
on them
think
too,
Kurt-
thinking that they have to feed food bank too, right?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think let's put a food box here in the office.
We have them. We have them.
Let's promote it. I'll bring craft dinner.
Do you not think that we should at this time give a donation?
I think a donation would be more appropriate. I don't want people walking in here to drop off food.
They've handled, they've touched, I think we just give the food bank some money and they can handle the money, they can take the food, they can shop, or whatever. Because I'd rather one person handling it than
Well,
several.
be very careful here because a large portion of the food that is given from the food bank is donated.
Yes, but we
Yes.
also gotta realize with the COVID-19, is there any laws or any regulations that food banks have to go through?
Well,
Chris, can you answer to that?
Sorry, Your Worship, it was.
Is there any regulations that food banks have to go through to be able to take in food now?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Worship.
Barb?
Do we have any idea when you were saying Sucred cash and that, how much she spends in a week or how much are we looking at? Like, if she's only given to 4 families, $100 when she can go out with cash from the village, she can multiply that and buy $400 probably through, you know what I mean, businesses of that.
I don't really think that the food bank is really an entity of the village because I think it's Sucred's own passion, Sucred's own setup.
And
She
then
took over that, it's hers, we have nothing to do with it.
Can I jump in there, folks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely clarify that. The food bank, although near to council's heart, is not an extension of the village like the library or the museum is at this time. I did meet with Sucred some time ago and suggested to them that they go through the motions of having the food bank properly set up as a not-for-profit society, and I believe that's been done with the proper society number and everything now. So I believe they finalized the registration and everything for, for income tax purposes and to dot the i's and cross the t's. But at this point, it is a separate arm's length operation with no direct affiliation to the village.
Thanks, Chris. So what does council want to do?
let's, we need to talk to Sucre.
I would like to make a motion that the village donates $500 to the food bank. Now, why I'm saying $500, this might be the tip of the scale, but it gives Sucre a little bit of working room.
You can find it.
She is, I'm telling you, she can make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. So if we give her $500, that is going to give her a good idea, and she is very conscious on this, the
Way money spent.
way the money's spent and who it's given to and how and whatever, and it's very confidential. I don't want to put any stress on her.
And I think we have to work with her to make sure that it's gonna jive to ask the community to step up and volunteer. She would have to be the one to go through applicants and choose the.
Can I jump in for one quick sec, folks?
Yep.
But that motion, Councillor Smith, can you just amend that, I guess, to say that a $500 donation to the food bank upon confirmation that they've been registered as a legal charity?
Yeah, because we
Ditto,
can't.
ditto.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you spell that?
All in favor on that one? Now, is there another motion?
Yeah, well, there's something else here.
There is? Oh, not yet.
And it's a simple question. Is it a possibility that we could approach Northern Health to have a designated day down the road at a designated location for a testing facility? I'm thinking particular, or do they come to individuals' homes? I don't know.
Are you talking about the virus?
Yes.
No, they have not that in place as yet.
Our
I've spoke
tests
to,
go to Vancouver right now.
yes, and I spoke with Home Alone, they sort of broke that up because they don't want them gathering. I think it's a personal thing if you feel that you can't even get in to see a doctor now. You can't phone to make an appointment to see a doctor. They screen you thoroughly. So, yeah.
Well, actually, that's wrong, because I was just at the
Oh.
doctor's 2 days ago. 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago. And I got in, Dr. Danny's taking patients.
The medical clinic is allowing people to come in. Dr. Ru's office is actually was taking patients. I know Mile Zero walk-in clinic is virtual. I think it's virtual. or something like that. Nordly's is the same, I guess. I don't know about that one, but yeah. So if that's your family physician, you can still get into them.
All right. That is it. Thank you for indulging me.
Good report, Ken.
Listen, you guys are doing a hell of a job, eh? We are endeavoring to do a good job for the community. I'm proud of you.
That's important.
Associate.
Community is very, very important.
Communities are.
Mayor McKinney doesn't have a report due to tax time, but I would really, really like to introduce you to our assistant CAO who has been doing a wonderful job. Our CAO has been set. Yay, Sandy!
Well done, Sandy.
Here.
Don't die now. I don't want your job, I told you that.
I'll make a motion, go in camera as per section 91E of the community charter. E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of